Look, I mean, you know, there are a million things you could try and do, but the trouble is everything that you could practically do, like train up journalists to know about medicine and stats, the good ones already do that, and when you run those courses you only get the good ones coming and the idiots don't come. And the idiots continue to write stupid stories, and editors continue to want stupid stories because they're eye-catching, and so they'll then go to their specialist health or science correspondent and say, write me this stupid story, and they'll say no if they've got balls, and then they'll go and get another idiot who doesn't know anything at all to write a stupid story. And actually, over the years, I've come to the conclusion that the only sane response to the failures in mainstream media is to root around them and just say newspapers aren't reliable places to get information about health. I'm not like a policeman or an ombudsman, and I care a bit if things are completely wrong all the time, because I think it's insulting to the readers, and I think editors are wrong about how thick readers are. I think something about being a doctor means that you get to meet normal people in a way that people who work in the media don't. And people who work in the media, especially TV, have a very patronising view of what they think normal people are like, and they're just wrong. You know, they think people are stupid, and they're just not. You know, and if you met people, you'd know that, but they don't. They live in Notting Hill or whatever. So I kind of like, it's not just about showing that these things are wrong. It's also just the fact that they're wrong is quite fun. Like, it's a gimmick really for explaining bits of science. The thing that I would do is, every single time that there was any uncertainty about which of two currently available, widely used, safe treatments in the NHS was going to be the best for a particular patient, I would just randomise them, and I would follow up how they did, whether they lived or died, from routinely collected electronic health records. So we don't know still what the best treatment for stroke is when you're in A&E, and we could recruit enough patients to find that out in the next 24 hours of stroke patients in the UK, and for death or outcome at 6 weeks, we would have our answer in 6 weeks. That's how tangible and doable this kind of stuff is, and it's the barriers which are put up partly by computer systems not being very well set up for just, you know, reaping electronic health record data for that, but also mainly ethics committees saying you're not allowed to randomise, even when there's no, even when it's already an essentially arbitrary choice between two treatments because you don't know which one's better. So I would say no treatment uncertainty without randomisation. You know, 40 million people have taken Prozac since it came on the market, and only 4,000 of those have taken it in the context of a randomised trial comparing Prozac against another antidepressant. And that's nuts, because we still don't really know which is the best, if any, of them. You know, 40 million people have taken it, but we only did research in 4,000 of those episodes. That's nuts. You know, if you're just arbitrarily going to get maybe Prozac, maybe citalopram, maybe sertraline, then you should just randomise every time if you don't know which is best. You would have to ask the unethical regulatory structures that oppose it. I mean, what's interesting is they don't ever present any evidence, you know. So, for example, if you want to run a trial comparing two statins against each other to see which one prevents the most heart attacks, nobody's ever done that. It's nuts, but nobody's ever done it. Millions of people all around the world take statins. They're basically pretty safe, and if you go to your doctor, you're going to get one anyway, right? If you're amenable to getting one, then you're going to get one of the most popular two statins. But if you suddenly said, okay, I'm going to formally randomise you to one or the other and then we'll find out which is the best, suddenly it's a 7-page long ethics form which takes 20 minutes to fill out, which means that a trial isn't practical in a GP's practice. And that's really strange. And I've not seen a good argument for why you would do that. I mean, so the history of it is, and this is a very boring and very big conversation, but the history of it is basically the ethics regulatory framework for trials, randomised trials, grew up out of the Declaration of Helsinki, which grew out of the Nuremberg trials of Nazis in 1946, right? And this sort of World War II model of how to manage dangerous experimental new treatments isn't being applied proportionately to randomised trials of routine treatments which are widely used and known to be safe.